Hello everyone. So in the yesterday's session, we had discussed about conditionals, which is if, elif, else statement. So in this session, we will take a revision again of conditionals, and then we will solve some questions, and then we will move to the loops. And again, we will solve some questions for the loops. Okay. So, so first here, before conditionals, now conditionals are known as decision-making statement, where we can use for making the decisions. Okay, and before conditionals, we have one more term here, which is comparison operators. So basically, in the comparison operators, we have in the conditionals, we mainly use comparison operators. Okay, which we have first not equal sign. So here we have not equal, which is we can use by using this sign. And then we have less than. Less than is let's say this sign. Okay, let's for example, let's say A is less than B here. Okay, for here we can say, let's say we are writing here 10 is less than 20 here. So in this statement, we are saying that 10 is excluded here. Okay, 10 is excluded. Then we have less than equal. Okay, so here we have less than equal to, which is this sign. So here we can write 10 is less than equal to 20 here, which means we are saying 10 here is included. Okay, so here 10 here is included. Then we have greater than, which is this sign. For example, we can write 20 is greater than 10 here. Okay, and again here 20 is excluded here. Okay, let me write excluded here. Then we have greater than equal to here. Okay, so here we have this greater than equal to, which is this sign. And here we can write 20, 20 is greater and equal to 10 here, which means 20 here is included. Okay, and then last we have double equal sign, which is actually equal to here, which means double equal sign. Or we can say, let's say 1 equal to here. Sorry, 1 equal 1 here. Okay, so here we have these comparison operators, which we mainly use in the conditional. Then let's revise the syntax of if-else statement, which is here we have if, we can write if, and then our expression. And then we have indentation. Okay, if expression, and here we have this one semicolon. And then we can use indentation. And then here our code of blocks, whatever we want to write. Okay, so this is simple if expression. And if we extend, then here we have else here. Okay, else, and then semicolon, and again we have this code of blocks. Okay, so this is simple if else statement. And again, if we extend if expression or else, then we have elif here. So here we have this elif, and then here we have expression, then we have semicolon, and then code of blocks we want to execute. Same here, we can have multiple elif statements. And for the elif, we have, if we are using elif, then we are checking for the multiple conditions. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so here we have this if, elif, and else syntax here. Then we can take an example for the if condition. For example, if we are checking if a number is even or not, then we can check if any number, let's say 4 modulus 2 equal 0, then here we can print the number is even. Okay, so this is a simple example of if or else statement. Now we can create any other program. Let's say here we want to check, okay, here we want to check if a user, or we can say a person, is eligible to vote or not. Okay, we can check this statement. So first we can take age as an input from the user. Okay, then we can use if age is greater than or equal to 18, then we can say that person is eligible to vote. Then we can print you can vote. Okay, or eligible to vote. Else we can say print you cannot vote. Simple. Okay, so here we have the statement age. We are taking age from the user, and then we are checking if age is greater than 18. Then we can say the user is eligible to vote, otherwise not. So we can simply run this statement. And here we can use Python and name of your file, hello.py. Let's say age is 21. Then we can say you can vote. Let's say age is 12 here. So you cannot vote. Okay, simple. Now we can take an example of multiple if or else conditions. Okay, for example, let's say if we are taking number from the user, let's say int and input, enter the number. Okay, so now here we can check if num, which is number, is greater than 85, and we can say end here, and if number is less than or equal to 100. So in this scenario, 100 is included here. Then we can say print grade A here. Okay, so here we are checking first condition. So here we are taking the numbers which is in between 85 and 100. Okay, like greater than 85 and less than 100. Less than or equal to 100. Second condition we have elif. If a number, or we can say any score, is greater than 60, and if number is less than or equal to 85, then we can say print, let's say grade is B plus, like this. Then again we can take another if elif statement, elif, if number is greater than 40 and if number is less than equal to 60, then we can print here. Okay, so here we can print grade B. Then again we can use elif if number is greater than let's say 30 and we can say number is less than equal to 40. Okay, then we can print here any statement, let's say grade C here. Okay, else we can print failure. Okay, so this is an example of multiple if elif statements. Okay, so we can simply check it. We can try to run this code here. Now here we are taking number as an input here. So let's say number, let's say we can take 80 here. So here we have grade B because number between 80 and 60 we have grade B. Same as let's say if we are printing 45, then we have B here. Okay, which is this statement. Oh, so this is again an example of if elif as statement. Then we can again take an example of these are simple if elif as statement. Then we have nested if statements. Okay, for example, let's say we are taking x equal 40 here as a number. Now here we are checking if x is greater than 10 here. Okay, so print, we can simply print number is above 10 here. Okay, so here we are checking, we are printing if the number is greater than 10, then we are printing this statement. Now inside this statement, we can use another if statement. Let's say if x is greater than 20 as well, then we can simply print number is greater than 20 as well. Okay. And or we can use else here. Else print or we can print number is less than 20 here. Okay. So here we are printing. Now this is known as nested if else statement. And you can use as many as if else statements inside if statements. Okay. For example, here we are checking if x is equal to 40 here. Now, if now in this situation, we are first this code will check for this situation, for this condition, if x which is 40 is greater than 10. So if the 40 is greater than 10, then this line of code will be printed. Now, after this line of code, we have this line of code, which is 404, this line of code. Now, it will check the condition again. If x is greater than 20, which is it is, then this line of code will be executed. And if not, then this line of code will be executed. Okay. Or even you can also use else here as well. Okay. Or you can use elif here, but here I'm going to use else. Print the number is less than 10 here. Okay. Because in the first condition, we are checking if the number is greater than 10. So now we can simply execute this line of code. Okay, so first here again number is above 10, which is this line of code will be executed. And inside this line of code will be executed, which is number is greater than 20 here. Now what if I turn this to 5 here? If number is 5, then this line of code will be executed because number is less than 10 here. So if I run this one, you will notice number is less than 10 here. Okay, so this is how we can simply use or we can simply create any nested if elif or if statements. Okay, and you can use as many if for elif or else statement inside if statement. Okay, it depends on your like program. Okay, now we will solve some questions. Okay, so first question is write a program to check whether a number entered by a user is 3-digit number or not. Simple. Okay. So here we are checking. We first here we are taking the number from the user. Okay. And then we are checking if the user has entered the 3-digit number or not. Okay. So for example, if the user entered 111, so this is a 3-digit number. We have 3 digits here. And if the user entered 12, so this is a 2-digit number. Okay. So can anyone tell me how we can uh, do this code? How we can write this program? So in this program, what can we use? So first, we can write a simple algorithm for this program. Okay. Like first, okay, if x is greater than 99, then 3-digit, else not. Okay. And what if the user print this number like 000? So this is also a three-digit number. Okay, after all, we have three digit here. Okay, so basically here we are counting the length of the number, not the actual number. So what we can do, we can write a simple algorithm for this particular program. Okay, so whenever you are solving any kind of problem or you are writing any kind of code or you are creating any kind of program, make sure to write an algorithm. So the algorithm is will be like first take input from the user. Okay, the very first step, we will take input from the user. Second, we will check if the number is of three digits. Okay, and if it is, then we will print whatever we want to print. And then we can write here, if not, then we will print whatever we want to print. Okay, simple. So here we are going to use if else statement because here we are checking for two conditions. If number is greater than or not. Sorry, if the number is three digit or not. So here we have two conditions. Whether a number can be of three digit and cannot be of three digit. So first we will take input from the user, the first step. So here we can write num equal int input and enter the number. Then we check. Okay, we will check if number is of three digits or not. So how we can check? We can simply check or we can simply check the length of the digits. So we can create another variable, let's say length of number. Okay, and here we can use len function and then your num here. So this will give you the length of your numbers. It can be 3, 4 or 5 or 1 or 0. Then we will check if length of number uh, yeah, length of number is equal to 3, then we can simply print number, or we can say this is a three-digit number. Okay. Else we can use here print. We can write anything, no three-digit number or whatever you want to write, you can write. Okay, so this is a simple program. We are checking. First, we are taking input from the user as per our algorithm. Second, we are checking, or we can write, we are checking. You can do this step in this simple condition also, but we have divided. So whatever the length of your number, we are storing this inside this variable. And then we are checking if length of any number is equal to 3, then we can say this is a three-digit number, else not. Then we can run this program. Okay. So here three-digit number, that's 111. And here we have the error. Length of number. Okay. So now here we are checking for the length. So we have to remove this int from here. Okay, just remove int from here. Then run again. Now number, let's say 111. So now this is a three-digit number. And what if we enter, let's say 55? So no three-digit number. Simple. So basically here we are making the number as a count as a string. So whenever we are entering 111, so this is a string here. Okay, so we are taking input here as a string, not as a number. Okay, then only your len function will work. Okay, now we can move to second program. Now, second question. Okay, second question. Find the lowest number out of two numbers which is expected by the user. So we are taking two numbers from the user, number one and number second. And then we have to find which number is smaller. Okay, then other one. So how do we write an algorithm for this program? or how we can write this program? Anyone? So first here we will check. First we can write an algorithm. So we will take two numbers from the user. Okay, this is my algorithm, user. Second, we will simply check which number is smaller. Okay, using if statement. That's it. Okay, and then we can print whatever we want to print. So here we can use a int input, enter your number, and here we can write first. And second, here's second number. Let's say B here. Okay, so this is my second number. Now we can use simply if statement. So here we can check if A is greater or if A is smaller than B or not. Whatever we can write. So here we are checking for the smaller number, lowest number. So we can check here if A is less than B. Okay, if yes, then we can say A is smaller. Or we can simply use formatting, or we can write the lowest number is, and we can put comma and A here. Else we can write this statement. The lowest number is B here. So again here we will going to use if as conditions, because here we are checking for two conditions. If A is greater or B is greater, that's it. When A and B are equal, then then in that case we can use elif statement. Okay, in that case we can use elif if A and B are equal. So here, let's try this one. Now let's say A here. Let's say we have 10A and we have 28. So the lowest number is 10 here, which is A. Okay, let's say if let's say we have this 100. Let's say we have 10 here. So the lowest number is 10 here, or we can say A here. Sorry, B here. And if we have elif here, if we can write elif condition, if A equal B, then we can simply print um, both numbers are equal. Okay. And then we can clear it, and then we can, let's say 3 and 3. 3 and 3. So both numbers are equal. Then you can use elif statement. Okay. Now, another program. Now let's check if the user, let's say let's take input from the user and check if the number is negative or positive. Okay. So how do we check if a number is negative or positive? So simply we can write an algorithm. We can take number from the user, and then we can check if number is greater than 0. Then we can say number is positive as negative. So here also we will use, yeah. And here we will use again if else statement, because here we are checking for two conditions, negative or positive. So here we can write, we can take number from the user, int. So enter the number. Here we can use if number, whatever the number is greater than 0, then print here positive. Else print negative. Okay, so we can simply run this one. Let's say number is minus 3. So number is negative. Let's say number is 12. So number is positive. Even you can use elif here to check if number is equal to 0, then number is 0 only. So you can use that one also. Now another program. Now here you can check a number. If a number which is accepted from the user is divisible by 2 and 3 both. Okay, so here whatever the number we will accept from the user, we have to check if the number is divisible by 2 and 3 both or not. Okay, so again here we will going to use if and else statement. But how to solve this program? Yeah, if we give 0 as a number input, then you can use additional statement here, elif statement that if number is equal to 0, that number is, you can print 0 only. Okay, in that case. Yeah. So how to solve it? Now here we want to use if and else here. And here we are checking for AND condition. Means we want a number which is divisible by both 2 and 3. Okay. So what we can do here, we can simply first take a number from the user. Let's say num equal, let me copy this statement. No, no, we will not get any error. We will not get anything. Okay. We will not going to get anything because here we are checking for the condition which is greater than 0, which is positive. Okay. So here we are taking input, like we are taking number from the user. Then we are checking if the number is modulus 2 here is equal to 0, and here if number modulus 3 equal 0, then we can simply print number is divisible by both 2 and 3. Else not. Okay, so here we can simply say not. Simple, you can write anything you want. So here we are checking for the condition. Now in this case, we can use modulus here because modulus will give you remainder. And if a number is totally divided by 2 and 3, then we can see the number is divisible by 2 and 3. And here I am using AND condition, and will check for both conditions. If this condition and this condition both are true, then only we can say this particular line will execute. Okay, for example, let's say if we have a number 4 here, which is provided by user. Now 4 is divisible by 2 here, but not 3. So this condition will not going to execute. So as a statement will going to execute in that case. Okay, let's say, let me run this code. Let's say the number is 4 here. So not, because 4 is divisible by 2, but not 3. Same as if we apply 12 here. So number is divisible by both 2 and 3 because 12 is divisible by 2 and 3 both. So this is how we can check if the number is divisible by both 2 and 3. But if the question says or here in place of and, then we can use or here. Now here we are checking for only one condition. If this condition or this condition, if any of this condition is true, then we can say this code will execute. Okay. For example, if I clear the screen, let's say 4 again. So now this code will execute this one because here the number is divisible by 2 but not 3. But here we are using OR condition here. Or condition will check only for one condition, while AND condition will check for both conditions. Okay, so here we can just use AND here. Okay, now, so here we can use another program, write a program to find the largest number out of three numbers, which is provided by the users. Okay, now here we are checking for comparing three numbers here, which is provided by a user, and here we want to find the largest number among all these three numbers. Okay, so how do we apply this? Now here we are checking for three numbers, which means we have multiple conditions here. So what we can do, we can first simply take input as a like number as a input. So basically for adding this number, like you can use OR statement yeah, in place of AND here. Okay, in place of AND, you can use OR here. Okay, in this particular code. Yeah, so here we can first take input from the user, which is let's say num1. Or we can copy, yeah, num1. And then we can simply take. So here we have num1, num2 here, and num3 here. And here we can mention enter the first number. Then we can mention enter the second number and enter the third number. Okay. Now here we can use if, elif, and as statement. So first here we are checking if num1 is greater than num2. And now here we are checking if num1 is greater than num2 and num3 here. Same as we will check for num2 here. Num2 is greater than num1 and num3. And same for the num3 here. So num1 is greater than 2 here. And if num1 is greater than num3, then we can say number 1 is greatest, or we can say largest. Same as we can yeah, we can write here elif. Now we can check, we can copy this condition from here. Now here we are checking for the second number. So here we can write if number second, which is number 2, is greater than number 1, and number 2 here, if number 2 is greater than number 3 here. Okay, then we can say number second or number 2 is greatest or largest. Okay. Then else we have we can use elif here, or you can use else here. Then we can check for number 3 if number 3 is greatest than number 1 and number 2 here. Okay, then here we can print number 3 is largest or greatest. Okay, even you can use multiple statement here. If number is 0 or any negative number or anything, you can use undefined here. Okay, now let's run this one. Okay, we can clear the screen. Now number first 1, 2 and 3 here. Simple. So number 3, which is 3 here, is greatest. If there are more than 3 numbers, how do we get more than 3 numbers? Because here we are only asking for 3 numbers. Then how do we get more than 3 numbers? Yeah, but if you are mentioning 3 numbers here, like number 4, number 5, then you can go through, you can just keep on extending your if elif statement. Or in that case, in second case, you can use for loop or while loop. Okay, but if you only want to use conditionals, then you have to keep on extending your if elif statements. Okay, even you can use if Like here in place of elif, you can also use if here. This is also possible. Like you can use multiple if here. Okay, but if we have elif, then we will going to use elif, right? So if elif is only made for like for checking the multiple conditions, so we can use elif. But in place of elif, you can also use if here. Okay, like if inside if. Okay, so let me run this code again. Now let's say we have 55, 44, and 33. So number one is greatest, which is 55 here. Okay, so this is how we can check for uh, for the largest number. Okay, now we can move to for loop and while loops. Okay, so basically we have two types of loops. We have for loop in Python and we have while loop. Now when to use for loop and when to use while loop? Anyone? Like when do we use for loop and when do we use while loop? Basically, we can use for loop and while loop in every situation, but in case we have two loops, so they might have a specific purpose. In like in one program we can use for loop, and in another program we can use while loop. So it depends on the program. But even we can use like for loop and while loop in the same program, but we have they might have like specific purpose in any use case. Okay. So when do we use for loop and when do we use while loop? And before that, what is loops? Loops are like iteration when we want to repeat anything. Okay, so here we can write loops are like whenever we want to iterate or we can say repeat anything. So the syntax of for loop can write here. Yeah, exactly. For loop we can use when I have exact count to execute. I know how many times I want to run this loop. In that case, we use for loop. And while loop. Yeah, exactly. So we use for loop when we know how many times we want to run the loop, and while loop is like whenever we want, we know the condition, not the how many times we want to run the loop. Okay. So here we can mention. Okay, so in the for loop, we can say when we know how many times we want to iterate this particular loop, like any number, let's say 10 times, 20 times, 50 times, etc. And while loop works on the basis of condition. When we don't know how many times we want to iterate, but here we know the condition. So as long as the condition is true, we can say the loop will go to execute. And when the condition becomes false, we can say we can end the loop. Okay. So while loop works on the basis of condition. As long as the condition is true, the loop will keep on executing. And when the condition becomes false, we can say the loop will stop executing. Okay, so this is like the main difference in for loop and while loop. Basically, we can use for loop and while loop in multiple programs, like even in the same programs, but they have a specific purpose. Okay, now this is the syntax of for loop. Here we have for, and then here we have iterable variable we want to iterate, and then in sequence. For example, for I is a iterable variable. You can mention any variable. You can use A, B, C, any variable. Okay, I in range. And then here we can use 1 to 10, let's say. Okay, now let's say we want to print number from 1 to 10. Then we can use for I in range 1 to 10. Now again, this works on the basis of one now 10 is not included here. Okay, 10 is excluded. So here we can mention 1 to 11. And then we can print I here. Okay, if I run this one, you will notice 1 to 10 here. Okay, 1 to 10 numbers. So basically here we are running 10 numbers. Now range function is like a specific function in Python which will help you to like print the numbers in a sequence, or we can say in the range. Okay, if you print here range like this 1 to 11 like this one. Okay, let me show you this output 1 to 11. And if I run this one, you will see range 1 to 11. So range function itself will not iterate or not print all the values. Okay, this will only show the range. But when you apply a loop here, when you apply loop in the range, so what will happen is, let me uncomment. So what will happen in this for loop? First here we have this variable I here. Okay, so when the loop will start, I is empty variable. Okay, I equal no value here. Okay, let's say none here. Then it will start from the 1 year. So whenever each time the loop will iterate, it will keep on like changing the value of I. So first for I in range 1, so it start from 1 year, so 1 will go in I. So here we have this I equal 1, and then we are printing I. So right now I is 1 year. Then second, which is range equal second. So this will going to execute from 1, 2, 3, and so on. Then at second iterable or second time, the I value becomes 2 here. And then we are going to print 2 here. Same as with 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10 here. Okay. So this is how for loop works. We are keep on changing the value of I until this sequence gets over. Okay. Same as, let's say we have any string. Let's say A equal apple here. Okay. Now we can also iterate over a string over any data type. For example, for I in A, and then print I here. Okay, so what will going to happen here? Here we have this apple. So in this apple, we have 5 letters here. Now this loop, first I is an empty variable. So first I will check for A. Inside A, we have apple here. So one by one, first a letter, which is A here, it will go inside A, so inside I, and then print I, which is here I equal A first. I equal A. Then P here. P will go inside I, and then we will have A and then P here, and then P and then L, L and E. Okay, so here we are iterating over a particular string. So basically we are iterating, we are just printing each and every character of this particular string. If I execute, you will notice A double P L E. Okay, each letter one by one. Okay, so this is like this particular I is iterating over each and every character of a string. Means each and every character is assigning to this variable I. Okay, until your string gets over. Okay, same you can do with the help of you can apply a list here. Let's say inside list here we have apple, and we can mention 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now these are the elements of the list. Okay, now I will iterate over a particular element. First, apple will be printed, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, if I run this one, you will notice first we have apple. In the second iteration, we have 1. In the third iteration, we have 2. And in the fourth iteration, we have 3, and so on. So this value of I will keep on changing, okay, until your list gets over. So this is how we can use for loop. Okay, now this is just a simple example of for loop. Now we will see an example of while loop. Okay, so what is the syntax of while loop? So here we are checking for the condition. Okay, so first here we will have a initial variable. Okay, let's say I equal 1. So this is going to be my initial variable. Second, we have while, and then here we have expression. We want to check, means your condition we want to check here. Then we have this indentation, and then we have this statement. Whatever we want to print after each and every condition is true. And then Here we are keep on incrementing your I value, the I value. Okay, with +1, +2, whatever you want. It depends on your program. Okay, so this is a simple syntax of while loop. For example, we can write here, uh, let's say I equal 1. Okay, so this is my initial variable. Then let's say I want to print number 1 to 10. Okay, so here I will check why I, which is right now 1, is less than 11. Then what we can do, we can just stop the loop. Okay, so first what we can do, why I is less than 11. So print the value of I and then keep on incrementing the value of I here. So first we have this initial I value is 1. Okay, so first this code will execute. First, the Python interpreter will check what is the value of current I, so which is 1 here. So now this line of code will be executed. Here we will check if I is less than 11. We will check this Python interpreter will check for this condition. If I is less than 11, then this will now this condition is now true here because obviously 1 is less than 11. So this condition is right now true here. So this line of code will be executed, which means 1 will be executed. Because what is the current value of 1? Sorry, I, which is 1 here. And then here we are keep on incrementing the value of I, which is now what is the current value of I, which is 1. And we are adding 1, okay, equal 1 like this. Means we are adding 1 in the value of I, which means the value of I becomes 2 here. Okay, now the current value of I is 2 here. Now the current value of I becomes 2. So this will again check the condition. If 2 is less than 11, yes, 2 is less than 11, then answer. So the condition is 2 right now. So 2 will be printed here. And then again we are incrementing the value of I, which is 3 here. Okay, we are adding +1, which is 3. Then again this will keep on checking the condition until the condition becomes false. Now for example, if here, let's say if the value of I is 10 here. Okay, let's say after keep on incrementing the value of I is 10 here. Now 10 is less than 11. This condition is also true. So this line of code will be printed, which is 10 will be printed. Now this will again increment your value. Now it would be 11. Then again this will check this condition. Now 11 is less than 11. No. 11 is equal 11, not less than. So now this condition will become false. And hence the code will stop executing. Okay. So let me show you the output here. So this will simply print 1 to 10 here. Like this. You can notice 1 to 10. Okay, so this is how a simple while loop works. Okay, or you can here use 1 to 10 and here you can use equal sign. Less than or equal to 10, which is 1 to 10. Okay, so this is a very simple example of while loop. Now we have else with while loop. How do we use else statement with while loop or with for loop? So let me show you with for and while loop. So first, let's say we have yeah, for x in range. Let's see, we have 5 here. Okay, then we can print here iteration, let's say up to 5 or basically up to 4 here because we are iterating from 0. Sorry, here we have. Okay, so for x in range 5, so which means here we are starting from 0 up to 4 here. Okay, 0 up to 4, and here we are printing iteration up to 4. Else, here we can print simply, let's say end of loop. Okay, so which means first this line will be executed like this. Yeah, this line will be executed up to 4, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at last as statement will be executed. Okay, so you can also use as statement. So here we have iteration up to 4 and then end of loop, which means first we are printing, we are checking for this condition. First, the loop will start from 0. Okay, and this will print. this line of code will print. And then here we are keep on checking for the condition. Now we will check for second. Okay, this will execute for the 0, 1. So this line will be executed, and then third, fourth. Up to 4, this will execute. And then at last, if the loop is over, then this else statement will be executed. So think like it is like just telling the user that the loop has been ended. So it is not as important, but yeah, we can also use else with for loop or while loop. Same as you can use this particular else statement here also. Okay, you can use else after this while loop. Let me uncomment, and we can uncomment this I equal 1. So we can also use this particular like else statement after for loop or while loop. So this statement is mainly for telling that loop has been ended. That's it. That is like the main purpose of else statement in the for loop and while loop. And it is not compulsory to use. Okay, if you want to tell user that the loop has been ended, then you can use it. Okay. Then same as in the while loop or for loop, we can like iterate over any data type. Okay. So now let's take an example with the help of some programs. So let's say we have first program is calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, using let's say a for loop. So basically here we are calculating the sum of numbers from 1 to 10 using for loop, which means for example 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus and so up to 10 like this. Okay, so we want to calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to 10 using for loop. Okay, so what we can do, we can simply write an algorithm, okay, before writing the actual code here. So what is the algorithm? So first here, now we are calculating the sum of numbers. So we will take initial value of variable sum equals 0. Okay, we are taking initial value of sum equals 0 because 0 plus 1, 1 or whatever the number. So we are taking initial variable as 0. Okay, because we cannot create a empty variable like sum equal. We cannot leave this like, so that is why we are mentioning 0 here. Sum equals 0. Then we can run the loop till 11, or we can say till 11, which means we are running the loop till 10 here. Okay, like from 1 to 10 here. And then we will keep on adding the iterable values in the sum variable. And then we will simply print the sum value. Okay. So, for example, let's say we have sum is a keyword. So we can say sum of num equals 0. So we have this initial variable sum equal sum of number equals 0. Then we will run the loop. So for let's say I in range. Okay, let's say from 1 to 11, which means 1 to 10. We are running from 1 to 10. And then now we will keep on incrementing sum of number with I, which means here we have sum of number is 0 right now. So sum of number is 0 and we are incrementing. So first the loop will start from 1. So currently, so let me tell you the meaning of this line. So this particular line means we are adding sum of numbers is equal to sum of number plus 1. Okay, so this is the means, this is the short form of writing this particular line. So what we are doing, we are like updating the current variable sum of number and we are adding sum of number plus 1, which means if the iteration starts from 1, right? If the iteration start from 1, so sum of number, which is sum of number is equal to 1. Which, now the current value of sum of number is 0. As you can see 0 from here. So we can use 0 plus 1. So now the sum of number will be updated to value 1. Okay, then the second iteration will start. Now current value of sum of number is 1. Okay, right. So what we can do? So it will again update the value, which is sum of number is equal to 1 plus 1. Sorry, plus I, which is I is now 2 here. So 2 plus 1, 3 here, and so on. So this will keep on adding the numbers. Okay, so here, let me comment this out. And then we can simply print the sum of number. Okay, like this. So if you run this code, you will notice sum of uh, 1 to 10 here. Okay, like 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on. Now, here we are using this print statement outside of your loop. Okay, so this statement is outside of the for loop. Okay, now what is outside? Because here we don't have any indentation. And what is inside when this loop, when this statement is inside this for loop? Okay, now this line and this line, these both lines are inside of the for loop. And this one is outside of your for loop. Okay, if you put this line, this code or this print statement inside the for loop, then you can see what will happen. You can simply run this code. You will keep on notice this will like keep on executing or keep on adding your numbers, which means 1 plus 2 3. Okay, and then again 3 plus again 4, which is 3 plus 3 6, and then keep on executing your adding your numbers. Okay, which is like first your value sum of number will be 1. Then this will add 1 plus 2, which is 3. Okay, then this will add. Now current value of sum is 3. 3 plus 3, because 3 is like your next iterable. So it will be 6. And 6 plus 4, your 10. Okay, so this will keep on like printing your numbers after each and every addition. So that's why if you want a sum of total, then we can remove this and we can put outside of your for loop. So so this will give you 55 only. If you run this one. So this will give you final value, which is 55. Now, any doubt in this question? Any query? So the difference in A plus equal B, and second one is A equal is B. This one. So this particular statement means, this means, here I can write A is equal to A plus B. Okay, means here in this statement, we are updating the value of A, which is whatever the current value of A is, we are adding another value of this variable B here. Okay, which means we are updating the current value of A by adding another variable B inside A. Okay, and this statement will throw an error. Okay, this statement will throw an error because whenever now these statements are known as assignment operators. Okay, and this will throw an error because we don't have any syntax for this particular line. So this will throw an error, and this here we are updating the value of A by adding another variable B inside A. Okay, that is the meaning of this. Basically, this particular line, this particular statement is like a shortcut of writing this particular statement. Okay, for example, in this case, sum underscore of num plus equal I. So what here we are doing, we are just writing this one. Sum equal sum of number plus I. Okay, so either we can write this one or we can use this particular line. They are same. Okay, it is just a shortcut of writing this particular line as this one, as this one. Okay, so instead of writing this entire long or lengthy statement, what we can do, we can remove this line. Okay, and here we can simply use plus equal I. Okay, so we can also use this statement. And this one will throw an error because we don't have any such statement like this one. Okay, now another program can right here. Now let's say calculate the product now. Okay, product of elements in a list using column. For example, let's say if we have a list like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this one. So we want like 1 multiply by 2 multiply by 3 by 4 and 5. And whatever the output, we can have it. Okay. So this is how we can. So this is like the meaning of this entire program. So we want to calculate the product of each and every element in the list. Okay. Using a for loop. So how to program this? How to write the code of this program? Anyone? Now, if you notice this program and this program is somewhat similar. Okay, this program and this program are like somewhat similar. In the previous program, we are adding, and in this program, we are like multiplying. Okay, and here we are using the like we have used the for loop, and same as we are using for loop here. But the difference is here we have the list, and in the previous we have this range. That's it. Okay. So first we can start by writing a simple algorithm. Okay. So first we want a list. Okay. Like this one. Second, again we can initial. Yeah, exactly. So we will take a variable, let's say a equal 1. Okay. So here this is my initial variable, or we can say multiply. Okay. Multi, or we can say just result. Name of your variable is result equal 1. So we are taking result, which is my initial variable equal 1. Then we can loop through, we can like loop through your the list, which is like we are keep on iterating each and every element on the list. And then we are multiplying each element by result. And then we can simply print the result. Simple. Now we will work on the basis of this particular algorithm. So we want a list. So either we can take list from the user or we can like write it manually. So let's say my list underscore 1 equal. Let's say I have this simple list. Okay, let me write here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my list here. Then my result equal 1. This is my initial variable. Then I want to loop through the list. Third step is looping through the list. So how I can like loop through? So for I in result, sorry, list underscore 1. Okay, so this will keep on iterating over my particular list. And then I have this result multiply equal to I. And then simply we are printing the value of result. Okay, so here we have this list. Now initial value is 1 here, because if you take 0, so 0 into any value is 0 always. So that is why we are taking 1 here. 1 equal any value is that particular value. Okay, like 1 into 2 is 2 only. Okay, so that is why here we are taking value as a 1, not 0, because 0 into any value is 0 always. Then for I in list, so this will keep on iterating each and every element, like 1, then second, and then third, fourth, and fifth. And after each and every iteration, we are multiplying the value, which means current value of result equal, we are updating the value of result. So current value of result multiply by value of I here. Okay, so this is the meaning of this particular statement. Okay, which means we can write the current value of result is equal to result of current value is 1 year only. Okay, as you can see, 1. And then what is the current value of I? 1 only. Okay, so this will start iterating from 1. So current value of 1, I is 1. So 1 equal 1 is 1. So this will again iterate then it will take another value 2. So result value is 1 only. So 1, but now I is 2 here. So 2 into 1, 2 here. Then the result value will be updated to 2. Then 2 into 3, 6, and so on. Okay, so this is how this code will flow. And here we can run this. So here we have this output 120, which is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 is 120. Okay, so this is how we can loop through this code. Okay, then next program, write multiplication or we can simply use write a table of a of let's say of any number. Okay, let's say any number which is taken from the user. Yes, if the list contains other data types, then this will throw an error. For example, string, if you have any string in your list, then you cannot multiply your string with any number. Okay, so this will throw an error. Let's say if any value is Boolean or any other list, so this will throw an error. So write a table of any number taken from the user, okay, up to 10. Okay, for example, if the user prints 2 here, so we want to multiply by 1 equal 2 here. Second, 2 multiply by 2 equal 4 here, like this, and up to 10 here, which is 2 multiply by 10 equal 20, like this. So we want this particular table using for loop and while loop. Okay, so here we can mention using both loops. So how we can perform this operation? Any hint from anyone? So first we will take input from the user. Okay, here we can use num1 equal int input. So let's see, we can enter, we can write enter the number. Okay, simple. Okay, so in this number one, we have this particular table number, which is 2, 3, 4, or whatever the user wants the table of. Okay, let's say 3 here or 2 here. Okay, it's up to user. Then here we will going to iterate for I in range. Okay, we will going to iterate up to 1 to 11, which is 1 to 10 here. And then we will going to print. Okay, so here we will going to print a pattern for this particular number. Now here, this 2 contains number here. So here we will print num1 first, comma. And then your this sign, which is multiplication sign here. So we will use multiplication sign, comma. Then here we want 1, 2, 3. So this is your value of I. So we will use I here, comma. And then we want equal sign here as it is. And then we want multiplication, which is I into your num1, like this. Simple. And then we can print, or this will like keep on printing. That's it. Okay, so if I run this code. Let's say I want table of 2 here. Now here you can see we have table of 2, which is here 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay. Let's say if I clear this screen, let's say I want table of 55. So here we have table of 55. Okay. Now this num1 is whatever the user will apply, whatever the user will provide, 55 into is like this sign is as it is. I is your iterable variable, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on up to 10 here. Because here we have enter range of 10. Equal sign, equal sign is add as it is. And then we have multiply of I into num1, which is your iterable value 1, 2, and number 1 is constant here, which is 55. Okay. Now, what if we want to take input from the user, like how much, like we want to take input uh, from the user as a range. For example, here we can use num second. Okay, let me write here. Now, int input, enter the number, second number, let's say. Okay, now here we want, let's say I am taking number here 50. So which means here I want, like the user wants the table up to 1 to 50 here. Okay, so here we can write num2 plus 1. Okay, num2 plus 1 means num2 is 50, so number 1 is 51. So which means the loop will iterate from 1 to 50. And here we have the table from 1 to 50 in range. Okay, so let me show you the output here. Let's say I want table of 2 here up to let's say 20 here. So here you can notice first we have 2 into 1 up to 2 into 9, 2 into 10, and then we have 2 into 11, 12, and so on up to 2 into 20 here. Okay, so which means here we can also provide the range of the loop. Okay, and we can take this as an input from the user. Okay, so this is how we can use, we can multiply, so sorry, we can print the multiplication table of any number and of any range from the user. Okay, using for loop. Now it's all your homework, like how you can perform this same operation, okay, with the help of while loop. Okay, which means take table number from the user, take the range from the user, and then print the table exactly like this one with the help of while loop. Okay, means you want to perform the same operation, same output with the help of while loop. Okay, and make sure take in this number 1, which is your table number, and your range from the user. Okay, so this one is your homework. So any questions up to here? Any doubts? Okay, I will ask the management to share the recording. Code GPT, you can simply, yeah, I will share, I will ask the management to share the, For the that is not code GPT, that is black box AI. Okay, you can click on the extensions and here you can add black box here. AI. Okay, you can add from here. You can simply install it. And whenever you are writing any code, you will get a suggestion, and then you can drag that suggestion to your right panel. So that will like add your what we can say, that add another kind of panel in your this window, and that will be your like black box AI. Okay. Okay, so that's it for today, and rest we will continue tomorrow and try to solve this question. Okay, without any help using while loop. Okay, make sure to take table number and table range from the user, and then apply or use your while loop. Thank you. Thank you.